Hey, thanks so much, guys. We might get started now. We've got quite a few people online, so we don't want to keep everyone waiting. I'm Beth, and I am the Marketing and Content Manager here at Hyper. We also have Max and Sam on the call, two of our amazing commercial strategists, and the three of us will be hosting tonight's demo event. Tonight, we'll be showcasing a handful of founders who have recently gone through our Hyper Accelerate program. And if you haven't heard of us, Hyper is a tech incubator helping founders launch their startups from ideation to investment. We have been in the market for over 6 years with head offices in Sydney, Melbourne, and London. To date, we've supported over 550 founders to launch their tech startup. And within the last 2 years alone, our clients have raised in excess of $52 million in funding. Now, just for some general housekeeping before we get started, you're all on mute, you can't be seen besides the judges and pitching businesses. We have a lot of people on this call. We'd love to interact with everyone and have your comments coming in. It would be really good for the pitching businesses if you feel you could add value at any point. Just add that in the Q&A box below. All pitching businesses' contact details will be shared with you after the presentation if you would like to get in contact with them. And finally, we will be sharing an offer with you all of a 6-month membership to our Apollo community after today's seminar. Now I'll pass over to Max to take everyone through the format of tonight's event.
Nice one. Thanks. Thanks, Beth. In terms of time frame, hopefully we'll be wrapped up by about 8:15. I know it's the evening and in the middle of dinner time, so we'll try and keep to a tight schedule. We've got 8 founders. Everyone will have the opportunity to pitch their startup for 3 minutes. I will be keeping an eye on time. And hopefully won't have to jump in, but I will just to ensure we stay on track. On the conclusion of the pitch, judges will have about 3 or 4 minutes to provide some feedback, commentary, or questions before moving on to the next founder. Founders, please be ready to go when your time is up. In terms of the judges, we've got a really good lineup. So we've got Liv from AWS, Amazon Web Services. She's a startup advisor. And Amazon needs no introduction. We've got Jonathan from Carthona Venture Capital. He's an investor. Carthona invests in early stage seed and Series A rounds typically. They're based out of Sydney. We've got Jason, who's the CEO of Cake Equity. Cake is awesome. They can look after your cap tables and ESOPs really, really easily. We've got David from Airwallex. He's a product manager there, or partnership manager there. Airwallex is now valued at 2.5 or more than 2.5 billion. And then we've got Mark, who's come in to replace Airtree. Mark is from EVP Venture Capitalists. He's an investor there as well. They specialize in early stage VC. We're one of the first investors into Deputy, Mad4, and a few other very well-known companies now. In terms of the founders, so we've got 8, obviously. So Chris will be up first from 3 Helps. It's a mobile volunteering marketplace connecting people through the act of giving. We've then got Torian Heath from Keep. It's a children's education app. We've then got Natasha from Easy Tenant. It's a one-stop shop when it comes to renting for all involved, agents, owners, and renters. We've got George from Weave. It's all your live streaming needs in the one place. Ross from Safety, which is trying to help people get home safely. We've got Wayne from Bleat. They're aiming to digitize the car rental industry. We've got Jemima from Stash, which is about saving everything you need to read, watch, or listen to on the one app. And then we've got James and Ash from Settle finally, which is about making the process of selling real estate much more efficient. In terms of prizes, third place, we've got a 750 Hyper voucher and a funding session. Second, we've got a $1.5 grand Hyper voucher and a 25 grand mini panel credit. And then first place will be 3.5 grand Hyper voucher, 50 grand mini panel credit, 10 grand AWS credit plus 1,500 of business support, and then Airwallex is going to chip in with a nifty 50 grand transaction free service. So some really awesome prizes there for the judges. The judges will be judging live, so hopefully we're not going to have to pause too long once the pitching is concluded. They'll be looking out for the founder's ability to articulate the problem being solved and the solution that's being delivered, the key features, benefits, and unique selling proposition of the product, the business model, of course, and then the attractiveness of market opportunity. If anyone has any questions as we move through this evening, just pop them in the Q&A field below. And that's about all from me. I will hand over to Chris, who is not actually in Australia, to kick things off with 3 helps. Good luck.
Cheers. Thank you, the Hyper team. Let me just share my screen. And Max or Beth, you just let me know if you can see, that would be great. Cool.
Chris.
Thank you. Yeah, howdy everyone. This is Chris Ingate reporting live from Austin, Texas. I'm initially born and raised in Sydney, and I'm the founding ambassador of 3 Helps, which is a mobile volunteering marketplace connecting people through the act of giving. So the problem, it's simply too difficult to volunteer. 93% of volunteers see a positive change as a direct result of their efforts. So we know people feel good giving back, but low awareness and poor onboarding experiences has led to decreasing volunteering rates. We know word of mouth and referrals are still the 2 most common ways to find out about events. So 3 Helps will adopt an organic product-led growth strategy where user acquisition and customer retention will all come from the platform itself. The business model will consist of a user and charity monthly paid subscription service to unlock premium features, in which just 5% of the Australian total available market equates to 50 million annual recurring revenue. But the true great thing about a 2-sided marketplace is its easy ability to scale globally, which is my intentions, with just 5% of the US market being 230 million annual recurring revenue. Now, Jason, who's on the judging panel, I'm aware you live in Brisbane, but just picture that you have to pack up the family and move down to Sydney to help out with your parents. You know, a couple of weeks into the move, you receive a text message from a friend to download the free 3 Helps app. Based on your profile and location, it serves you relevant events. You search, hit apply, which then kicks you into a customized onboarding workflow where you can easily upload your driver's license, your working with children certificate. You can run an automated police background check, sign a form, and boom, you're verified to volunteer. The second and third element of 3 Helps will be part of the paid user subscription, in which I'll also be donating $1 per user per month to my friend's mental health charity Living, breaking the stigma around it ain't weak to speak. Now, Jason, another month or 2 in, your parents actually need help with a shopping errand, but you're too time poor juggling your own family needs. So you create a neighborhood or informal event. Ultimately, you as the user can create any event you need help with the feedback and approval system vetting all volunteers and events. Now, the third element, the more users help others, the more karma points they accumulate, which can be redeemed at mental and physical health orientated merchants. Now combine all of that with the fact that 1 in 4 Australians are feeling lonely, with the true social impacts of COVID only to be known to the years to come. 3 Helps will increase the overall numbers and frequency of volunteers across the globe, whilst improving mental health by connecting charities, neighbors, and brands through the act of giving. Thanks, y'all, and feedback always welcomed.
Cheers, Chris. Over to the panelists.
Chris, Mark here from EVP. Thanks for the overview. It's awesome to see it. It seems like great to see that kind of impact focused business. So yeah, great to hear the story. Keen to understand a little bit more folks' willingness to pay as a volunteer. Like, I think the proposition from the charity perspective is makes a lot of sense. There's a whole bunch of workflow benefits for them, and I can totally see them paying for it. Curious, I don't know if you've done any user testing or conversations about volunteers actually paying to find this sort of work. Keen to understand that in a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the golden question. Essentially, I'm still early stage. I'm going to clarify all of that once I've launched the MVP in Sydney and Austin. That has been a few feedbacks from some people I've spoken to. So I potentially might just charge the charities and increase that price, because I'm ultimately saving them the time and resources, and make the user mobile app side of things completely free. So still more work to come on that element.
Got it. Thanks, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Liv here from AWS. Nice to meet you. Like your hat. I'm wondering if you've explored any freemium models and what your projected growth is going to be over the next 12 months.
Yeah, so my plan is get to $1 million annual recurring revenue within the 12 months. I've partnered with a marketing company, Ask Marketing, who are going to specialize in terms of getting the user acquisition needed for that. Again, still need to sort of vet out the actual sort of process there with the MVP once all launched. So my initial goal now is to raise the funding needed to build the MVP.
And how much is that?
It's currently budgeting around 100 grand. But I've got a personal goal of raising 200 for those listening.
Great. Thanks.
Hey, Chris,
Hey, Chris.
Jono.
Oh, you go, John.
Awesome. Hey, Chris, awesome pitch. I really thought you presented the problem really, really well. Just a quick one for my understanding. How do you plan on kind of growing both sides of the marketplace from the user and kind of charity perspective in concert, I guess?
Yeah, so from the user point of view, I do want to rely heavily on an organic strategy. So word of mouth or just referrals or a lot of social media brand ambassadors. From the charity element, I'll rely more on a traditional digital marketing spend, LinkedIn or Google AdWords. To put it simply.
Thanks.
Hey, Chris. I have actually experienced this problem a little bit. I'm a recent dad, so a fair bit of volunteering in my life now. Like you sort of seem to have three sort of problems that you're working with. You've got the problem of the volunteer and the problem of the charity, and then also the volunteer, perhaps if they needed to get some stuff done themselves. Do you think maybe looking at those three problems and iterating and testing and finding one of those that you're able to build a business model around more quickly, might be something to focus on?
Yeah,
hey, guys, sorry to jump in so early. Do we reckon we could just take that as a comment to think about offline, Chris, just to make sure we stay online? Cheers, guys. I hope I don't have to do this to everyone. Nice one. Thanks so much, guys. Tori, Heath, are you guys right to kick off?
We absolutely are. I'm doing all of the bits that I need to be doing here.
While we're sharing our screen, can I just ask everyone to make sure that their volume is up? We do have a few audio files that we'd like to play for you that we want you to be able to hear. Okay, is that working okay, Max?
Yep.
Okay, so hello everyone. Thanks to Hyper for having us here tonight. My name is Tori, and myself and Heath are the co-founders of Keep Australia. So Keep, Kids Emergency Education Project, an app built to keep you and your family safe in a fun, interactive, scenario-based environment. Let's work together to save lives. Here's our first audio clip.
Police, fire, ambulance. Help, help, my dad has fallen down the stairs and he isn't moving. Okay, so you need an ambulance. Yes, please send an ambulance to help. Okay, so we just need some more details. What's your address? I'm at home, send some help now.
Pretty confronting, huh? So, why keep? Fear. An emergency can be really scary, even for us as adults. Imagine what it's like for a child who then has to call emergency services. Be bold, be brave. We give our children confidence and the ability to recognise a problem and know what to do and what to say. Confusion. There are lots of questions that are asked that are critical in ensuring the right help is sent quickly. Real life education. Teaching our children with real life interactive lessons, ensuring the very best outcome. It won't happen to me. We all want to believe that these type of things won't ever happen. However, accidents are just that. We want to be sure that if it does, your child is ready. Recognition. True recognition for the effort your child puts in, with a certificate sent directly to your child after each module is completed. With guidance from adults, our app introduces children to scenarios and takes them through each step involved in calling emergency services, from dialing 000 to answering each question. By practicing real-life situations and using repetitive learning methods to ensure they are equipped to handle any emergency, children will feel confident to be able to make that call, just like this.
Ambulance. What state are you calling from? Victoria. What's your address? 41 Collins Street, Werribee.
Needless to say, this is a much better outcome. So, where to next? Our beta version of the Keep app will launch in the App Store by the 1st of June. Current projections suggest the app will also be available in the Google Store within the next 3 months. Growth. As part of our growth strategy, we've designed a classroom module to complement the app. Lessons have been designed by educational experts to meet current curriculum requirements. The classroom module has been structured to be age appropriate, teaching specifically to Prep to 2, grades 3 to 4 and 5 to 6. It will help children learn what an emergency is and how to help. Children will participate in a learning environment and will finish the lesson with a take-home activity pack and access to the app. The classroom module will begin being taught in our Keep Founding School in Term 3, 2021. In 2019, there were 1.6 million primary school age students across 10,300 primary schools in Australia. We aim to be in 20 primary schools by the end of 2021 and a further 250 schools within the next 2 years. Financials. In regard to the price to the app, there is still further market research to be done to arrive at an appropriate price. While the app will be available as a standalone, it could also be packaged with the classroom module. Our aim is to make the classroom content available to schools for $5 per student, with a discounted price available for whole school sign-up. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to jump onto our socials and become part of the Keep community. Let's work together to save lives.
Nice one, guys.
Oh, gosh, there everybody else is. We're back. We couldn't see anybody during that, so we didn't get facial cues. That was terrifying.
One of the judges want to kick things off.
Yeah, sure. I'll go. That was great. That was great, guys. I had a question around, you were talking about the projected schools that you were going to partner with. I think you said 20 primary schools this year and then 250 in the next 5 years. How are you going about setting up that pipeline of partnerships?
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, my ex-wife works in the primary school industry, and so she's going to be joining us to allow us those introductions. We're also in heavy communication with a company called Kabloom, who also work in the primary school area. So we're hoping to be able to access those areas through those connections.
Okay, great.
Awesome, guys. Great problem to solve. What's your next big customer goal? You talked a little bit about, I guess, where you're trying to get to in the next, 1 year and 5 year period. What does the next sort of quarter look like for you from a customer perspective?
As Tori mentioned, we're going to have our beta version up on the App Store in the next couple of weeks. And for the next quarter, we're looking to get as many users as possible to be able to give us as much feedback as humanly possible. We have 100 pre-sign up registrations. So as soon as we're ready to go, we're going to launch out to those guys. and we're going to hit the targeting scene as much as possible to get us out there as much as possible. And really, we're looking at kind of 250 active users in the next 3 months, so that when we launch the beta, we're only going to be launching with ambulance and 3 scenarios, whereas the final product will have police, fire, and ambulance and 5 scenarios in each. So we're looking to understand what our market wants so that we can then build out our full-scale model, hopefully by year's end. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey team, well done. I really liked your voice recordings. That was great in the beginning and the end.
My voice in the first one was terrible.
Yeah, I could tell. I was like, that sounds like a grown man. Definitely not a child, but that's okay. I was just wondering, what does growth look like after your end user has achieved their first certificate? Do you guys have a plan for V2 of the project of the product?
Yeah. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Use your big boy words. Yes, we do. The initial phase is obviously going to be just, get everybody out there, get them using the app. We have other areas. Obviously, there's international growth. Every developed country that has an emergency service requirement, this can be of assistance. There's also other areas for us to look at, including refugees who are unable to speak English as their first language. So going in and developing the app a little further to be able to work in that space as well. We have already had preliminary conversations with Esther around what that can look like. So there is certainly a bucket load of room for us to grow. Right now, I'm a logistician, Tori's an analyst. We're kind of finding our feet and really learning a lot of great lessons along the way. And sometimes, we're being asked questions that we don't know the answer to, but that's brilliant because it allows us further growth, because we don't know all of the questions to ask at the moment.
Nice one. Good answer. Love the shirt too. Natasha, moving on to you with Easy Tenant, please.
Thank you so much. Hi all, my name's Natasha. I'm very excited to be here today and thankful for the opportunity and share with you a little bit about my business baby, Easy Tenant. If I may just ask, to begin this actual session, I'd like for you all to close your eyes and think of the emotions that come to light when you consider the word home. Hopefully they're all very positive emotions. Home is definitely a place of much importance to us all. In fact, it's a place we go to rest our heads, to raise our kids, and now even to a large capacity to work. So it's of utmost importance that we choose the right home for ourselves, given we're now spending more time than ever before in it. And it's Easy Tenant's mission to help people looking to rent a property find it with a little bit more ease. You see, in today's conventional model, I have found that there are 3 key areas of difficulty or opportunity, depending on whether you like to see the glass half full. The first of which being the lack of convenience and control. And by way of meaning that, it's really around the fact that property inspection times tend to land on the same days. And on average, an agency will only put up between 1 and 2 inspection times for potential tenants to choose from. Not to mention, tenants then have to go through a process of back and forth communication in order to actually have a say in what date or time they are actually feasibly able to go and view a property. The alternative being people turn to virtual tours. And in doing so, they compromise the ability to have an in-person assessment in getting to know their neighbor and, more importantly, their neighborhood. Lastly, the platforms and products available in today's landscape lack personalization. They don't understand a person's priorities, preferences in life, whether that be catchment zones for schools, or a certain preference for a number of public parks and recreational areas. Easy Tenant aims to solve all of these 3 components. The self-service appointment scheduling feature in Easy Tenant aims to make viewing a property for an inspection purpose as easy as booking a restaurant. The ability to choose a date and time that suits you and is available to the person who's listed the property makes it convenient and easy and minimizes the back and forth communication that's required today. It's also, of course, as I mentioned, that in-person experience. You're not compromising on having the ability to view a property, understand its flaws and faults, and better acquaint yourself with your neighborhood. Lastly, Easy Tenant has an inherent AI matching and community insights tool. The idea being that based on a person's shortlisted properties, the AI actually sifts and understands the trends by way of, this person's choosing properties within a specific catchment zone to a school, and then infers that people would like for other properties positioned to them on the platform to be in that same catchment zone. So it becomes a bit more targeted and specific in what it's able to develop. But is it a solution worth investing in or even worth pursuing? Well, the average Sydney property is on the market for 2 months in general. Any given suburb across Sydney has about 30 properties listed for leasing, and there's 658 suburbs in Sydney alone. That equates to about 19,740 properties on the market every single month looking for new tenants. But when you consider this sort of service delivery offering, are people willing to pay? Well, a recent study done by PwC suggests that yes, they absolutely are. Service delivery experience is of utmost importance to consumers within that premium tier. In fact, consumers are willing to pay 16% more for that service delivery experience. So the business model—
I just have to wrap it up quickly here, please, Natasha.
The business model we've actually landed on takes inspiration from other industry disruptors like Different, with a flat fee offering dependent on the number of properties looking to be leased, and an enterprise offering for agencies over a certain amount of properties in the market. With that being said, we welcome the opportunity to partner or have you invest in Easy Tenant and help those looking for their dream property make it that much easier. Thank you so much. Sorry about going over time.
Thanks for speeding up at the end there. I felt like I was in a guided meditation at the beginning. Over to the judges there.
Hey, Natasha, thanks for the presentation. It's certainly a problem. I'm sure most of us on this call can really it resonates with us, and we've all been through it. Keen to understand. I think the problem from the tenant side is quite clear, and we've all gone through it. It's a soul destroying experience trying to go visit 100 properties on a Saturday. But from the agency side, where I think you're trying to monetize, what's going to be the impetus for them to do it? I think the idea of having folks schedule a visit as it suits them. And opening up on a more convenient basis. It's obviously a logistical nightmare from the agent perspective. What's the kind of selling proposition to them as the agency?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good call out, Max. And should I have had more time, I definitely would have delved into it a little bit more. It's essentially that with the Easy Tenant auto scheduling application comes with a lockbox capability, which allows for the agent or a homeowner to choose to be either on site or off site for the actual tenant to come in and inspect the property. If you think about Airbnb, a lot of Airbnb have self check-ins. It's a similar idea. It was in fact inspired by something along the lines, with the concept being that agents could save time showing properties because all the details would be consolidated in the application, and an auto-generated code would be produced to allow people access to the property for a window of time. For them to then focus on other things like getting commissions from sales, which of course is where the real juicy appetite from a real estate agent standpoint is. Not to mention also in terms of selling to real estate agents, it is about enhancing their service delivery. So looking at what agencies can do to provide that more tailored premium service to prospective tenants, and in doing so, having the potential to actually increase rental rates off of the back of that for that agency fee based on that PwC statistic I called out in the presentation. Hope that answers it.
Got it. Thanks, Natasha.
Nice one. We'll move along to the next one. Thanks for that, guys. George with Weave. Over to you, mate.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Hello.
Hear and see, mate. Good to go.
Okay, awesome. So here we go. So over the last 14 months, the world has changed. Oops, sorry. The way we are working, commuting, communicating, and experiencing entertainment is different. Some are time poor and exhausted. Some have more time in their hands than ever before. But there is an insatiable thirst to escape, educate, explore, and be entertained. Oops, again. The news cycle continues to move at an alarming pace. And in the absence of physical events, people want to experience something collectively, a moment in time that you look back on and say, I was there. Consumers are hungry for live content, which will connect them to the world, be it news, sport, and real entertainment. Weave changes the game. We can be likened to Google as a search engine for live video. We haven't just built an app, we've built an entire new industry, live video on demand. The demand for SVOD, streaming video on demand, is outstripping supply. There are hundreds of fictional streaming apps with the likes of Netflix, Stan, Disney+, and the list continues. Then we have a handful of social apps like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat that are all wanting our time, but consumers are now over the news feeds, photos, and snaps. When users sign up to Weave, they are asked to connect their social handles. So when someone they follow or connected to goes live, they are notified and can watch the live video through Weave. This helps them knowing a Weave notification means live and now, taking them to the source of the moment in real time. In the Discover section, users can find, subscribe to, and share live videos that they otherwise wouldn't find without having jumped onto each platform and searched for live content. And if they did do this, they'd miss content being created on other platforms whilst watching only on one. The video streaming market is huge and it's only getting bigger. It's forecast to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 20.4% during the coming 6 years, reaching a size of 184.3 billion by 2027. Weave will be free to use for viewers who subscribe and connect 2 of their social handles. And if the user wants more of their followed content connected to Weave with 4K quality and ad control, they can subscribe to a month-by-month or annual subscription. Where we start to monetize like a mint is the Weave ad place, where businesses and advertisers and other agencies can sign up for $365 a year and have sponsors access to all live content coming into Weave. The unique to Weave algorithm scans live videos at integration and places an ad button on those live videos which are unsponsored. The ad place users then have the opportunity to create banner and video ads and place them on the unsponsored live feeds with the most viewers or audiences specific to their business channel. Competitors are none, but all with live feeds are our partners. We've applied for patent protection and trademarks in dozens of countries. At soft launch in the coming weeks, we have YouTube and Twitch integrated. So a significant amount of content is currently gaming, crypto trading, and world news. As the landscape of content creators are international, Weave has the unique ability to be a global platform at outset. That's the pitch of Weave, and I encourage everybody to go to weave.app and sign up so you can be one of the first people to use it when we launch.
Great, George. Thanks, mate. Panelists or judges.
Hey George, great pitch. Thought you're working on a platform in a massive area and definitely growing. I'm just keen to know or better understand your integrations with YouTube and Twitch going forward.
So YouTube and Twitch, the APIs were publicly available, so we were able to access that and integrate into it. We still are working on starting commercial agreements with the likes of Facebook, IGTV, Periscope, which is owned by Twitter. Being massive organizations, it's very hard to get to product leads. I had a meeting with somebody from LinkedIn Live, but LinkedIn, the live product is not their core function and it's very new. So we're a little bit early for them. Not all these companies have the public API available because it's so unique and we're quite ahead of the game, I think. There is some ways that you can embed to a website, but not that integration directly into Weave. What we need is the API integration to notify a user like myself that somebody that I might follow or interested in has just gone live. And that URL is what we need to create that mass integration. We've had discussions with the likes of 7, 9, 10. They all said it's quite a slick product, but we had an issue around the media bargaining code when Facebook did what happened there, and so they were all sort of standing on the sidelines and waiting to see what was going to happen with that before anybody else committed. So yeah.
Great, thanks.
Hi, George.
Hi, Liv.
Great presentation. Great presentation. I was wondering what your resource plan is to exponentially grow your revenue and what that runway looks like.
So we're built on AWS. So any support that we get from you would be great. What we're doing is, so we've got, I've got a PR company and a marketing manager that's putting a program together. But I'm also meeting on Friday with Komodo, who's an influencer marketing agency. So as an example, Komodo helped an app, which is a live boxing app called DAZN, D-A-Z-N, get to number 1 and 2 in the App Store in Australia and New Zealand. And that cost DAZN $35,000 and they got 14,500 subscribers out of that. So just looking at that, that's about just over $3 acquisition cost per subscriber. So we're looking at different ways to do it. I've got some connections myself who have got 100,000 followers on TikTok. So some of those micro sort of influencers as well that we can muster up to get out. But then one thing we've got to do is, especially when we can start to fly around the world again, is go to the likes of the larger companies like Facebook and TikTok and create those commercial agreements and get them to sort of come in. Because what we're doing is, as I said, we're not competing and we're helping them to amplify their content. So if somebody's paying for an ad through Facebook, we're not taking any of that revenue. So where somebody might be on a Facebook app looking at that ad, now it would amplify through Weave to people that are not on Facebook right now. So they're the commercial agreements that we want to create, and we're hoping AWS can maybe open some channels there as well,
I'll give you my email after.
Great. Nice one. Thanks, guys. Ross and team with Safety. The floor is yours. Thanks, guys.
Hello, everybody. Hello?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, just want to introduce myself. I'm Ross. This is Matt Ball and Chris, and we're the co-founders of Safety. We're going to pretty well start the presentation straight away because it goes for just under 3 minutes. So, 1 second.
Hi, our mission is to make everyone safer and to tap into a $3.5 billion market. We would like to introduce you to Safety. Our journey started in September 2012 with Jill Ma. Jill was a bright young Irish woman living and working in Melbourne. 29 years of age, she was attacked and killed while walking home from a night out with friends. The story of Jill Ma quickly attracted the interest of Melbourne. How could someone be raped and murdered in such a built-up area, only 200 metres from home and just off the main street? No one saw a thing, and the CCTV footage was scant and difficult to piece together. Ross, the founder of Safety, was upset and frustrated. With a wife and 3 daughters, Ross could feel the pain of Jill's husband and parents, not being able to be with your loved one in the time of need, or to assist the police in finding the attacker. Ross already knew everyone had a CCTV, voice recorder, GPS, and instant alarm in their pocket. The question he had to answer was, how can we link all those technologies together, helping to deter an attacker, sound the alarm for help, and gather evidence instantaneously? In 2019, Ross decided the time was right, and he chose to entrust this idea with Hyper, knowing together they would build the app that would save lives. Safety. Safety's primary feature is panic mode. When activated, 4 things happen simultaneously. Front and back cameras start recording in burst shots. Sound is captured via the microphones. GPS location is pinned, and an SMS alert is sent to 3 contacts. All information is sent directly to the cloud and is accessed via the web link, sent to the pre-selected contacts. This information will continue to update until the PIN code is entered to stop the panic mode. The contacts will see all images, hear what is happening, and have the location. They can decide to either call 000, call their friend, or they may choose to personally assist. We've been testing the current version of the app for the past 4 months. In all, we have 150 people downloaded and test the app for us. The feedback has been great. The next version will be released in June, and this will be the start of our major rollout. The original idea of creating Safety to protect everyone with a smartphone is paramount. The panic button will always be free. New subscribers will receive 28 days free to use all features of the app. Home Safety, an alert to let someone know you have reached your destination. Awkward, a preset message that will alert your friend that you are feeling uncomfortable. Travel, to plot your journey and see if there has been any reported incidents, as well as sharing your journey so others can watch over you. And of course, panic mode. To continue with full access, they'll require a monthly subscription via the App Store or Google Play. People are prepared and willing to pay subscription fees for a service they believe in. The Safety team is now headed by Ross Speezer, Matthew Ball and Chris Jonker. Their diverse skills create a dynamic and well-rounded leadership. We have partnered with the best in the business, Hyper, Techni R&D, the Ardent Law Group, H&C Media, and a PR firm that we will be engaging in the coming weeks. Safety will be huge. To scale the business, we are seeking mentorship. Join us in our mission to make everyone safer.
Thank you for that. What listens to that? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you. Nice one, guys. That's a really good preso.
Thank you. What's happened? Just wait for it.
Judges, got anything?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Great presentation, guys. I think you know, strong problem, strong solution. Great to see you've got it in users' hands. That's exciting. With regard to your team, how do you see your team growing over the next little while, and you know, what sort of impact do you see them having on the next phase of the business?
Right, we're going to be breaking in a short while. We're breaking the Safety into 2 groups. We're becoming a Safety business and Safety personal. Chris will be heading the Safety business side, and we'll be heading the Safety personal side.
And as far as developing our team, we're bringing on a PR company that we hope to develop with soon. And we've got some meetings with government and things to look at building out where we could into state government, local government, federal government things as well.
We've already employed a H&C for handling the social, the Facebook and Instagram page. We've also employed Megaphone to be handling the Facebook and Instagram page in promoting that as well.
Sounds great. Good luck. I like it.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hi. I really like that. I thought that was a really interesting app, and obviously you know, an important problem to solve. One question I had was, what is your monetization strategy? Are you thinking that the end users are going to be the ones that are buying Safety, or do you think that this will be, you know, given as a gift or given by companies to their employees? What are your sort of options for monetization?
Yep. So there's two different streams that we're looking at taking. One being the freemium model, where users can subscribe for free, as we said. They have a base model, and then they can up that through to being able to share to more than one person after that. So they pay a subscription fee. We're yet to work out exactly what that fee will be yet. But for example, a parent can buy that for their child. A lot of kids around the age of 13 and up going to school by themselves. They can buy that for their child, and instead of just one parent being notified, both are notified plus a friend. And that's that's what we're looking at for the freemium side. And on the business side, we're looking at targeting larger businesses. We're already working in our beta testing with a large real estate agency and other builders, looking at another one there, just looking at running the testing side of things. And that will be more of a monitored response for people working alone, such as nurses, estate agents, and that sort of area.
Cool. Sounds good.
Probably got time for one more quick comment if anyone wants to jump in with anything.
Will you be actively tracking users' locations throughout the app?
Yeah, we will be only when they activate the app. So when they have two ways of doing it. We can set a travel thing. So I want to go from this place to this place, but I want to let my friends know that I'm going there. So I would live share that route, and they can follow me on that route through theirs. And also if the panic is alerted, then that keeps tracking until I stop that panic mode by inserting my PIN number. So that could be a couple of moments, or it could be, half an hour or something like that. So that will continue to track through that process.
Both being user activated though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice one, guys. Thanks a lot. Great problem, or terrible problem you're trying to solve, but I hope it goes really, really well. Who have we got next? Vleet, Wayne, and crew, over to you guys.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Takura, and I'm one of the co-founders of Vleet. So Vleet originated out of a desire to put the consumer back at the heart of the car hiring experience. What we found is today, car rental companies have very low levels of customer loyalty, which contributes to increased operational costs as a result of having to constantly acquire new customers. 2/3 of our consumer research group indicated that they've had to wait over 45 minutes when picking up their vehicle. And then after that, they're then faced with fees and charges and insurance that they just don't understand. 95% of them said that all they want is an easy to understand process from booking their vehicle to picking it up and ultimately returning it. At Vleet, we are creating a simple contactless car hire experience. The experience we have designed will remove queuing. It's going to remove redundant paperwork and ultimately support a truly integrated self-service hire experience, giving consumers time back and ultimately increasing customer loyalty and reducing those operational costs for the car hire companies. Our solution will be enabled by using biometrics, AR, digital documentation, and contactless key collection. Our go-to-market strategy is centered around entering into an agreement with car rental incumbents who have a desire to improve the customer experience. Now, today, the industry generates $3.4 billion in Australia. However, we see Vleet's total addressable market at $490 million, and we aim to achieve $78 million in revenue in the short to medium term. Now, needless to say, the industry economics and consumer expectations have changed due to the pandemic. And what we're seeing is innovation and disruption is quickly gaining pace in offshore markets. Due to the low levels of innovation in our country, players have struggled to generate that brand loyalty, with the largest rental companies holding only 15% of the overall market. Where new players do enter the market, what we've found is they often just result in going to price competition and not offering anything new to consumers. what Vliet is offering is the first opportunity to truly differentiate from the crowd. The benefits to our partner will not just be the increased loyalty through, will not just be increased customer loyalty, but through our integrated UX, what we're hoping to do is engage with those customers throughout the whole rental journey via merchant funded offers, and not just at the counter, where the goal is to upsell the customer with insurance and other add-ons that they just don't want. Our business model will be based on a share of each ticket processed through our platform, licensing fees, and ad revenue. Today, we continue to iterate and refine our prototype with both end user consumers and future partner customers. Furthermore, Vliet has actually been accepted into Melbourne University's MAP Velocity program, one of only 20 startups in Melbourne out of 200 applications. Our team, half of whom are founders, comprises a really passionate group of individuals with experience in product design, digital transformation, finance, and actually importantly, operational experience in the car rental market. Now, for us, one of the key things for our team is to be role models to people of color, to demonstrate that we too can be leaders in the technology community. Now, to move Vliet forward, our ask is support in securing the appropriate technical expertise, funding required to commence the MVP development, and ultimately introductions to industry experts. Thank you very much for your time this evening, and we do look forward to hearing from you.
Great, Takura. Nice one.
Great pitch. Really liked it and really understand how frustrating the car rental process is and how big the customer pain is. Would you ever consider owning your own fleet going forward and then potentially becoming, the next Hertz, or do you guys just planning on partnering with existing car rental providers?
Yeah, so one of our early ideas was to actually own our own assets, but that is capital intensive. And ultimately, you then end up incurring a lot of the costs that add to that burden that the current incumbents have. We see value in being software as a service for them.
Great, thanks.
And Mark, yeah, thanks to Kura and team. Really awesome pitch. Sounds, yeah, again, problem totally resonates as a kind of consumer on that side of thing. Curious how you're thinking about kind of, charging, what sort of level you think these car rental companies are willing to pay. I don't know, without knowing the industry in some depth, I imagine there's a handful of really large players in each market who control maybe 80% of the market or something like that. So obviously you need to, to get to scale, you need to be charging them quite a lot. How are you thinking about that?
So I'll take that. So in terms of what we're looking to do is effectively from, I guess, our business model perspective, we're looking at commissions and also white labeling the platform. In terms of the commission perspective, what we're looking at is effectively from a small to medium player perspective to enter the market. And then as we gain enough traction, we'll be looking to, I guess, work with the larger players. In terms of what that commission structure actually looks like, we haven't done the specific number calculation. But I think what we're looking to look at is probably between 2 to 5% of the total cost of what goes through the platform. In terms of the licensing fee, depending on what the company takes up, given that there's different, we're looking at a tiered approach in terms of the solution. We'll be looking at pricing that appropriately.
Got it. Thank you.
Nice. Probably time for one more quick question or comment if anyone's got anything to add. No pressure. All good.
Wait, Max, I'll go. I'll go. Quick question.
Cool.
What do early indicators of traction look like for you?
So what we're looking to do is that we've reached out to a company in the US and also in Europe that have a similar experience that we're looking to, I guess, work with to pilot the experience here in Australia. That's one lens. The second lens is obviously working with small to medium players to show the benefit that that the experience will provide. But on top of that, from a consumer perspective, what we've done is that we've conducted over probably 30 to 40 user prototype tests, and we're gaining a lot of traction in terms of a lot of interest in the experience.
Great to hear. I love the reach out overseas as well. Nice one, guys. Jemima with Stash, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear and see you. Yep.
Hear and see me. Okay. Hi. My name's Jemima. Thank you for inviting me along for tonight. I'm going a bit old school. My internet's not that great, so I'm just relying solely on a presentation. So my presentation today is about a new little app that I wanted to develop called Stash. So Stash is basically Stash Now, Explore Later app for busy people. Is everyone drowning in online inspiration with no time to absorb it? This is where Stash is going to come in. Stash is a customizable organizer app that lets you stash online content from anywhere for later. So there's no more social media rabbit holes, no more FOMO. With Stash, you'll amplify your efficiency, you'll optimize your time, and you'll stay on track. So why will you love Stash? It's a very, very good question. Keep it simple, Stasher. Any online content, any format, just download the app and get stashing. So day or night, work or play, you can save articles like your Facebook feeds, your YouTube videos, your Google searches, your podcasts, your audio books, even your tweets, etc., etc. You can stash them in your personalized collections where you can look at them later, so you're not going to miss out on anything. Next up, focus, focus, focus. Avoid the social media rabbit holes. 1 minute you're trawling through social media, and the next minute you're on a completely different web page, half an hour's vanished. The solution, Stash it. Stash lets you stay on task without missing out on that great article that you stumbled upon, and you can stash it and move on, save it for later. Next up, there's no more FOMO. Stash your content in one easy location and read it when you're ready, so you can go back anytime you like. Don't you hate it when you see something online that you don't have time to absorb it then and there? You don't lose it to the internet black hole if you stash it. So customizable saving options and personalized reminders means that you'll never miss out on anything ever again. Also, our superior search function will enable you to find that article, find that picture, find that post anytime you like. With regards to partnerships, any astute Aussie or international business who's focused on spending their advertising dollars wisely will be advertising on Stash, because we have micro-targeted advertising. That means no noise, advertising that's tightly honed to individual user collections and user selected ads on a premium subscription. And what that means is there'll be two types of subscriptions. One will be a free model. The second one will be a premium. And with the premium model, people can choose whether they actually want to have advertising on particular collections or not. And as in, they can have one collection, for example, a holiday in Madrid, where they would like to have advertisements because obviously they want to get the flight discounts and the good, restaurants in Madrid. But having said that, maybe you've got a recipe, you don't really want to have advertising on your recipe, you just want your list of recipes. So there's various packaging options available. So thank you for listening to my presentation. And does anyone have any questions?
Jemima, I think we've all fallen victim to the rabbit hole on Instagram or social media. So nice problem. Over to the judges.
Hey Jemima, Mark here. Thanks for the presentation. Love the old school approach. It's nice and refreshing. So congrats on that. Curious how this is different to some of the competitors out there. So Pocket's the one I'm familiar with. I think there are a few other ones as well.
Yes.
Great if you could kind of speak to how it's different from some of those other kind of article savers, if you will. It sounds like there's some more product depth there, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, so our biggest I guess advantage is that the search function will be so highly tuned that you can actually, if you say, for example, you save a YouTube video, you can actually Google on a sentence that you remember from that YouTube video, and the search function will allow it to find that video. The other thing is that you can actually, and I'm the same, I've actually got a few on I'm actually obviously testing out the market, and the reason that I've wanted this app to be built is because I'm frustrated with what's already out there. The naming of the articles, so you can actually, instead of it just being a URL or sort of something that doesn't really make a lot of sense, and you have to sort of go through each one, these will all be named really, really obviously the way you want to name them, depending on how your filing system works, into a collection of your choice. So that's one of the different aspects. Also, the premium subscription model, where you will be able to turn off advertising if you don't want it. So, and that's collection by collection, not throughout the whole app. So that's really specialized and it's really intuitive. So it'll give you exactly what you want in the particular collections.
Got it. Thank you, Jemima.
Jemima, what does your team look like?
My team is me and Hyper. At the moment, what I'm trying to do is get some capital to actually start a beta version of the app, so I can actually get it out to market, get it tested. So I'm just looking for funding to get that sort of beginning to go. I'm also really, really basically going to focus mainly on the marketing, because what I discovered when I was wanting this app was that I didn't know that other apps existed. I had to sort of go and find them. So I'm going to really focus heavily on the marketing side of getting the app out, even in its most basic form. So they're my two biggest drivers.
That's fun. Any other comments from the judges? Cool. Maybe you could recruit were they your kids in the background there, just walking through?
They just sneak in. I said to them, don't come in at 8:30. It's going to be a crucial time. So yes, they're all wanting it. That was the other thing with my app. I have done a lot of market research, and it just covers all ages. My mother-in-law wants to use it for her various things. My son, who's at uni, wants to use it for all of his stuff. So it actually has got a really broad usage. So everyone's waiting.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jemima.
Thanks.
Okay, and lucky last, we've got Ash and James from Settle. I believe they've flown interstate for this Zoom meeting as well. So take it away, guys.
These are just some examples of buyers frustrated during the settlement process. Anyone who's ever bought a home knows it's meant to be one of the most exciting times in their lives. Unfortunately, the reality is anything but. I'm Ash Sachdev, this is James Hill, and together we're solving the biggest frustration for buyers and real estate agents, the settlement process. The current problem is that buyers and agents have vastly competing needs. As an ex-real estate agent, the truth is, once a property was sold, I shifted my focus to my next listing because it simply meant commission. Settlements were time consuming, they meant admin, and with 20 steps, that often meant errors, like the time James gave the wrong set of keys to a client. From a buyer's perspective, they all had the same issue. They didn't have clarity in what was happening. They wanted information about the property that agents didn't have. And once they settled on that property, they stored information in 3 spots: their email, in a folder at home, or in that pile of papers that sits on your dining room table.
So we created a solution. Settle takes the time and stress out of settlement by digitising and streamlining the process from beginning to end. For an agent, this means easily managing multiple settlements at the one time, keeping across a checklist of key items so you deliver a 5-star service every time. Book in key appointments such as final inspections and bank valuations, meaning you never accidentally stand up a buyer again. And track your expenses and commission, maximising your profit for every home that you sell.
For a buyer, settle means convenience and transparency. They can track the status of their settlement process while ensuring they've got access to relevant property information, such as alarm codes, builders' details, and other property quirks. They can find trades and suppliers from locksmiths to painters, meaning their house will soon feel like a home. And like a car logbook, our property wallet is a central spot to store all relevant information, from contracts, warranties, invoices, through to the paint colours you've used. Our business model has 3 key tiers of revenue that will be activated in a staged approach. Stage 1 is a monthly subscription for agents at a cost of $20 per month. With 65,000 active agents in Australia, our goal is to have 10% on settle by 2024, netting 1.5 million of annual recurring revenue. Stage 2 is a freemium subscription model for buyers who access our property wallet. Key features are then activated for $2 a month once subscribed. If we assume only 50% of the buyers who go through the settle process then activate the property wallet, this nets a further 630,000 of annual recurring revenue. And stage 3 will be affiliate revenue from our suppliers and white goods marketplace. With an average purchase spending $11,000 on suppliers, trades, and white goods, if we get just 1% of the total buyers purchasing through the app, that's 57 million of revenue, of which we would take a 5% cut, meaning a further 2.9 million of revenue for settle.
So who you invest in is just as important as what you invest in. As a real estate team, in 24 months, Ash and I own 23% of our target marketplace within our core price point. In 2020, we took a new challenge on, leading the sales for a tech startup in the childcare industry. In a brand new company, in a brand new marketplace, and with a brand new product, and throw in COVID for good measure, we've now delivered $3 million of annual recurring revenue within an 18-month period. So what we're looking for is a raise of $350,000 under a safe note agreement in order to build out our planned product development and marketing roadmap. We're also looking to secure a strategic board member working with us to ensure a strong foundation and structure. So who's ready to invest in a simpler and smarter property experience with Settle? Over to you, team.
Nice one, guys. Who wanted to go first, judges?
Hey guys, Jason here. Great presentation, super clear. I really like the ask as well. Gives me a good idea of you know, how you kind of get where you're at and where you're going. With the problem itself, so how does this problem interact with the conveyancing issue and the contracts and that aspect of settlement as well? Is that similar or separate?
So it's probably a separate problem that's already been addressed. So the issue happens once you've signed the contract and in between signing a contract and actually moving into your home. The reason the issue exists is because during this period, an agent's got what they need. They've got their commission, they've sold the property. Therefore, their desire to assist during this process is very low. For a buyer, polar opposite, right? You've just bought your new home, you're really excited and you've got a whole host of questions that you need answered.
Yeah, no, I really get it now. So there's sort of like just the buyer thinks, oh, wow, I've signed my contract, I've paid. And then there's this whole bit after that that just doesn't work as well because the agent sort of switched ahead to the next product, the next property. Yeah, that's really clear. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, I had a question around the sort of traction that you've had with real estate agencies. I'm assuming that actual agencies themselves are the ones that are kind of going to be the main buyers of this, and then they'll give them out to their subscriptions to their 100 or so agents. You guys have a background in real estate as well. Do you have like contacts that can help with setting this up?
Yeah, great question. So we've already spoken to 20 individual agents and 5 large agencies. The feedback's been pretty positive in the sense that people have said once there's a live prototype that they can walk through, they would be keen to sign up. As part of our research, we ran a focus group with 20 agents. By and large, everyone's on the same page. No matter how your process is slightly different from one agent to another, it's almost comical that everyone agrees that, you know, this is such a bad, lackluster process that could be simplified and made really efficient for the actual purchaser.
Great.
Time for one more quick comment. Anyone? Liv, you're usually good to wrap it up.
My question is probably a long-winded one, but have you guys considered some sort of neo-banking approach to integrating into your app where you're taking all these private documents and all of these different financial transactions and pushing them directly to a bank?
Yes, in a way, Liv. There's quite a few things that we're sort of looking at. That is one option, running like a larger digital sort of wallet across multiple streams. Where there's an option as well, given a large issue is, as agents, you know, we would collect our petrol receipts, our gift receipts, flower receipts, entertainment receipts, and it would all go in an envelope. And you'd basically tax time, you'd be opening up this surprise and trying to piece it all together. By being able to integrate that functionality into the actual product itself, we can then partner with banks to say, well, we've got an audience base or active, you know, real estate base of, call it 10 or 15,000 agents. We could actually run the transactional banking through that as part of the app, as part of the sign-up process. So we could spin off in quite a few ways from a buyer and an agent point of view. But obviously that involves tech build and money.
Awesome. Nice one, guys. Thanks so much. Now we'll need about a couple of minutes just to shore up that's everyone, by the way. We'll need a couple of minutes just to shore up the judges' votes. Sam's going to jump on to announce those 3, 2, and 1 with why. In the meantime, I think Beth's got a poll to keep us busy.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being patient and sticking with us for the hour and a half, but we would love to know who you thought was the best pitch today. So we're launching a poll. It'll be 2 minutes just while the judges are coming together and deciding on a first, second and third winners. If you could jump in and select who you thought was the best pitch today, we would love to hear. After this, we'll be sending you all an email with all the contact details of the guys that pitched today. If you would like to get in contact with them, if you have any more questions for them, I'm sure they would love to chat to you. So in a few minutes, we will finish up this poll and see who the winner is.
Okay, that's fine.
Just so everyone is aware, we here at Keep are willing to put out bribes just to make sure that we can, you know, just want to put that out there. That's kind of where we're at. Good, I can see 2 smiles, I'll take them.
I'm not sure if Vleet's online, but we have had a question come through from an attendee watching today. Vleet, do you already have a biometrics license for this? If you do, would you jump online just to answer this person?
We'll have a look at that question straight away.
Happy for you to answer here if you like.
Well, no, we don't as yet, but we're exploring opportunities.
Thanks, Wayne. If anyone else has any questions that they would like to send through for all the businesses that pitched today, feel free to put that in the Q&A below and they can answer them while we're waiting.
Hello, everyone. We're actually ready to announce the prizes. Beth, is that all right with you?
Off you go.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thanks very much for everyone attending this evening. Thoroughly appreciated in support for the startups, the judging panel and Hyper as well. We hope you enjoyed your evening and seeing some aspiring founders and hopefully some future startups having a successful time in market. It's actually come down to a pretty close vote from the judging panel. So pretty excited to announce the top three. So in third place this evening, we have the Settle startup, which is James and Ash. So congratulations to those boys. There was actually special commentary from Olivia at AWS, highlighting that you had a very refined pitch, established and experienced founders with a clear understanding of the respective markets. So congratulations on third prize to James and Ash.
Thank you, Hyper. Appreciate it, guys.
Wonderful. In second place, and second and first were actually very close. They were decided via a vote. So coming in second place was Vleet. So congratulations to Wayne and his team in coming in second place. Some great commentary here regarding from the judges. So from Mark, from EVP, solving a meaningful problem with significant value at stake for the target customers, clear value proposition. And also Jonathan from Carthona Capital highlighted understanding a customer pain point, current processes are seriously backwards, really like digitization of communications, contactless key, and computer vision for the future. So congratulations. So in terms of a drum roll coming, oh, sorry, I didn't let you talk there, Wayne, go on.
No, I was just going to say, no, I was just saying thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks very much. And in first place, I think Liv was just giving me a mini drum roll. Thank you very much. Coming in, we had a total of 10 votes across the judges, was Chris from 3 Helps. So congratulations, Chris. And David from Airwallex. So a very important problem being addressed, charities, corporate sponsors, and also consumers as revenue streams. So congratulations to Chris, who has also woken up at 4 a.m. in Austin, Texas to be with us tonight, which is also greatly appreciated.
I love that. Thanks. I can't put my video back on to show off my cowboy hat, but I think that was what did it.
I'll get you back on.
Yeah,
thanks, Chris.
please. Really
appreciate it.
I got to get my hat back on. Thanks, everyone. That's amazing. Very exciting times. 4 in the morning, but still time for a champagne, I guess.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And I'll now hand over to Beth to close out tonight's demo night.
Thank you, guys, and congratulations to all of you. You all deserve it, and that was such hard work that you've put into your businesses. So thank you so much for taking the time to come here today and show off your amazing work. We're all done for today, but we will send you all an email with contact details and a video from today so you can re-watch the event. Thank you all, and we'll see you soon.